Scorched Galaxy Protocol Admiral Minho Choi stood in the war room on Earth, looking at a giant map of the galaxy. Red dots showed Council territory. Blue dots showed where human ships were hiding. There were a lot more blue dots than the Council knew about. "Begin Phase 2, he said into his communicator. "Activate Scorched Galaxy Protocol." Across the galaxy, human fleet commanders received the same message at the same time. Captain Minji Song was near the Council's main shipyard in the Kepler system. General Yuna Shin was positioned close to their military headquarters. Lieutenant Sunwoo Nam was hiding near their communication center. The Council thought they were regrouping after their defeat at Earth. They thought they had time to make new plans and build more ships. They were wrong. Captain Minji Song was the first to attack. Her target was the largest shipyard in Council space. It was where they built their biggest warships. "All ships move in," she ordered her fleet. "Remember, we want to destroy everything. Leave nothing that can be used to build ships." Her 20 ships came out of hiding and attacked the shipyard. The Council defenders were not ready. They thought human ships were still far away in human space. The shipyard was huge. It was the size of a small moon, with docks for building 50 ships at the same time. But it was not built for fighting. It was built for building. Human weapons tore through the shipyard's weak defenses. Explosions lit up space as fuel tanks and ammunition stores exploded. In 1 hour, the pride of the Council's shipbuilding industry was nothing but floating metal pieces. "Shipyard destroyed," Captain Minji Song reported, moving to secondary targets. At the same time, General Yuna Shin was attacking the Council's military command center. This was where their generals planned all their wars and gave orders to their fleets. "Intelligence says there are 12 Council admirals in that station," she told her ships. "I want that station captured, not destroyed. We need those admirals alive." Her ships surrounded the command station. It was heavily defended, but the defenders were using old Council tactics. They fought in formation, following preset battle plans. General Yuna Shin's ships fought like a pack of wolves. Each ship acted independently, attacking from different directions, changing tactics every few minutes. "Their shields are down," her weapons officer reported. "We can board now." "Send in the Marines," General Yuna Shin ordered. Human Marines boarded the station from 6 different points. The Council guards fought bravely, but they had never faced soldiers who moved and thought as fast as humans did. "Station secured," the Marine commander reported. "We have captured 9 Council admirals and their computer systems." "Excellent," General Yuna Shin said. "Download everything and send it to intelligence." While the attacks were happening, Lieutenant Sunwoo Nam was working on something more subtle but just as important. She was in charge of cyber warfare, and her target was the Council's communication network. "Are you in?" her team leader asked. "Almost," Sunwoo Nam replied, typing rapidly on her computer. "Their security is good, but it is designed to keep out other Council species. It was never designed to keep out humans." She had been studying Council computer systems for weeks, using information from captured ships. The Council used the same type of computers for thousands of years. They never changed their security codes. They never expected anyone to attack their networks. "I'm in," she announced. "I have access to their entire communication system. What can you do with it?" "Everything," Sunwoo Nam smiled. "I can read their messages. I can change their orders. I can make their ships think they are getting commands from their admirals." This was the beginning of the Council's real nightmare. Not only were human ships destroying their bases, but humans were also controlling their communications. Council ships started receiving false orders. Some were told to go to empty systems. Others were told to attack their own allies. Engineering Chief Tai-Hyun Lim was working on the most devastating part of the attack. His target was not ships or bases. His target was the Council's ability to make new ships and weapons. "Deploy the miners," he ordered from his engineering ship. Thousands of small robot drones flew out from human ships. These were not weapons. They were mining robots, designed to dig metals and materials from asteroids. But Tai-Hyun Lim had made some changes to them. The mining robots found Council supply depots and manufacturing plants. Instead of just taking materials, they started eating the facilities themselves. The robots broke down the metal and machinery, turning everything into raw materials. Then the robots used those materials to build more robots. "Sir," his assistant reported, "the mining robots are working perfectly. They have consumed the Vega supply depot and built 50 more robots from the pieces." "Good," Taehyun Lim said. "Send them to the next target. I want every council factory and supply depot turned into robots." The council was starting to panic. Reports were coming in from all over their territory. Human ships were attacking everywhere at once. Their shipyards were destroyed. Their command centers were captured. Their communication system was not working properly. Fleet Commander Ji-won Han was coordinating all the attacks from her command ship. She had been promoted after her good intelligence work, and now she was in charge of making sure all the human fleets worked together. "Status report," she requested. "Kepler shipyard destroyed," came the first report. "Military command center captured," came the second. "Communication network compromised," came the third. "Mining robots deployed to 47 systems," came the fourth. Ji-won Han looked at her battle map. Red dots were disappearing as council bases were destroyed or captured. Blue dots were spreading as human forces took control of more systems. "Admiral Min-ho Choi," she reported to Earth. "Phase 2 is proceeding ahead of schedule. Council resistance is collapsing faster than expected. Any word from their leadership?" "Yes, sir. We intercepted a message from the Council emergency session. They are calling for a complete retreat to their core systems." But the Council's core systems were not safe either. Captain Ji-hoon Kim had been promoted to Admiral after his successful first contact mission. Now he was leading the attack on Zenith Prime itself, the Council's capital station. "Remember," he told his fleet as they approached the massive station, "this is where it all started. This is where they threatened humanity with slavery or death." The station that had seemed so impressive when he first saw it now looked different. Admiral Ji-hoon Kim knew its weaknesses. His ships carried weapons specifically designed to destroy stations like this one. "All ships begin the attack," he ordered. The battle for Zenith Prime was the fiercest fighting of the war. The Council had pulled all their remaining ships back to defend their capital. They fought desperately, knowing that if they lost here, they lost everything. But desperation was not enough. Human ships were faster, their weapons were more effective, and their tactics were completely unpredictable. Dr. Soman Park, now serving as Admiral Ji-hoon Kim's science advisor, was monitoring the battle from the command ship. "Admiral," she reported, "I am detecting massive structural damage to the station. Their main power system is failing. How long until it collapses?" 30 minutes, maybe less." Admiral Ji-hoon Kim made a decision that would be remembered for centuries. "All ships, stop firing," he ordered. "Open a channel to the station." "Sir?" his communications officer asked, confused. "Do it." The screen showed the inside of Zenith Prime. The great hall where the council met was damaged and dark. Only 3 council members were still alive. Ambassador Vextar was one of them. "Human Admiral," Vextar said. His crystal body cracked and dim. "Do you wish to gloat over your victory?" "No," Admiral Ji-hoon Kim replied. "I want to give you the same choice you gave us." "What choice?" "Surrender completely or watch your capital station become space dust." Vextar looked around at the ruins of the council chamber. The other council members were barely alive. Their great empire was falling apart. "And if we surrender?" "You live. Your species live. But you follow human rules now." "You would make us slaves?" Admiral Ji-hoon Kim was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. "We will treat you the same way you plan to treat us. You will give up your weapons. You will accept limits on your territory. You will serve the greater good." "Whose greater good?" "Humanity's." Vextar's crystal body seemed to grow even dimmer. The Council had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. Now they were being offered the same deal they had given to 67 other species. "How long do we have to decide?" Vextar asked. Admiral Ji-hoon Kim looked at his watch. 30 seconds, he said. "That's how long until your station's power core explodes." The galaxy held its breath. "What remains?" when God's fall ambassador Vexitar looked at the countdown timer on his screen. 15 seconds until the power core exploded. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. "We surrender," he said. Admiral Jihoon Kim nodded to his weapons officer. Human ships immediately stopped their attack and moved to help stabilize the dying station. Engineering teams beamed over to fix the power core. Zenith Prime secured, Admiral Jihoon Kim reported to Earth. The Galactic Council has surrendered. That was 3 months ago. Now Admiral Minho Choi stood in the same great hall where the Council had once threatened humanity. But everything was different. The 12 seats that had held Council members now held human representatives. Where alien flags had once hung, the blue flag of United Earth flew proudly. Status report. Admiral Minho Choi requested from his new headquarters. General Yuna Shin appeared on the communication screen. She was now in charge of managing former Council territories. "Sir, the final count is complete," she reported. "Of the 12 original Council species, 4 are extinct. They have fought to the last ship rather than surrender. 6 species have accepted human protection and are following our rules. 2 species escaped to unknown space and have not been seen since." "What about the 67 species that were Council members before?" "Most of them are still alive, sir. They were scattered across the galaxy as workers and soldiers. When the Council fell, many of them asked to join the Human Alliance." Admiral Minho Choi nodded. It was not surprising. Most of those species had been forced to serve the Council. Now they were free to choose their own path. Dr. Somin Park walked into the hall carrying a tablet full of reports. She was now the head of the Department of Galactic Sciences, responsible for studying all the new alien species and technologies that humans had captured. "Admiral," she said, "I have finished studying the Council's historical records. The truth is worse than we thought." "Worse how?" "The Council did not just conquer 67 species. They destroyed hundreds of others completely. Any species that was too dangerous or too independent was eliminated. Their planets were turned into asteroids." Dr. Somin Park showed him images on her tablet. Dead solar systems, broken planets, entire species wiped from existence. "They were planning to do the same to us after a few years of slavery," she continued. "We were never meant to survive long term. We were too unpredictable for their taste. But we survived," Admiral Minho Choi said. "And they did not." Engineering Chief Taehyun Lim arrived with his own report about the new human infrastructure being built across the galaxy. "Admiral, the construction projects are ahead of schedule," he reported. "We are using Council technology combined with human engineering. The result is better than either species could build alone." "How much better?" "Our new ships are 10 times faster than the old Council ships. Our new weapons can destroy a planet-sized target from 3 star systems away. Our new communication network connects every human colony instantly, no matter how far apart they are." Admiral Minho Choi smiled. Humans had always been good at taking existing technology and making it better. Now they had access to 10,000 years of alien science to improve upon. Captain Minji Song, now promoted to Admiral, was in charge of the new human galactic fleet. She reported from her flagship, the Earth Triumphant. "Sir, we have established human bases in 1,000 star systems," she said. "Every major trade route is now under human control. Any species that wants to travel between stars has to follow our rules." "Any problems?" "Some of the survivor species are testing our resolve. A few pirates from the Helix Nebula attacked a human cargo ship last week." "What did you do?" "We destroyed their entire fleet and turned their base into a crater. The message was received. No one has attacked human ships since then." Lieutenant General Ji-won Han, formerly just lieutenant, was now in charge of human intelligence, operations across the galaxy. Her job was to make sure no new threats to humanity could develop. "Admiral," she reported, "we have agents in every remaining independent star system. If anyone starts building weapons that could threaten us, we will know about it immediately. And if we find such weapons, we destroy them before they can be used. Prevention is better than cure." Admiral Jihoon Kim entered the hall. He was now in charge of human diplomatic relations with all alien species. His job was to decide which species could be trusted and which ones needed closer watching. Admiral Minho Choi, he said. The new Human Galactic Assembly is ready to begin its first session. The Human Galactic Assembly was humanity's answer to the old Galactic Council. But where the Council had been 12 species ruling over hundreds of others, the Assembly included representatives from every species that wanted to join. How many species are participating? Admiral Minho Choi asked. 237, Admiral Jihoon Kim replied. Some are species that were enslaved by the Council. Others are species we discovered in unexplored regions. All of them have agreed to follow human leadership in exchange for protection and trade opportunities. They walked together to the main assembly hall. It was much larger than the old council chamber. It had to be, to hold representatives from so many different species. Ambassador Hana Lee, formerly commander, was waiting for them. She was now humanity's chief representative to the alien species. Admiral, she said, the alien representatives are eager to hear about humanity's plans for the galaxy. What do they want to know? They want to know if we will treat them the way the Council treated them. They are afraid we will become the same kind of tyrants. Admiral Minho Choi thought about this. It was a fair question. Humans now controlled the galaxy the same way the Council had. They had the biggest fleets, the best weapons, and the most territory. But humans were not the Council. Tell them this, he said to Ambassador Hana Lee. Any species that wants peace will have peace. Any species that wants to trade will have trade. Any species that wants to be left alone will be left alone. But any species that threatens humanity or our allies will discover what happened to the Galactic Council. Ambassador Hana Lee nodded and went to address the assembly. Admiral Minho Choi watched through a window as hundreds of alien representatives listened to her speech. Sir, Dr. Soman Park said quietly, do you think we did the right thing? What do you mean? We destroyed the Council completely. We took over their entire empire. Some people are saying we became the very thing we fought against. Admiral Minho Choi was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke. The Council gave us a choice, submit or die. When we refused to submit, they tried to make us die. We chose a third option. Which was? Make them die instead. He turned to look at the alien representatives in the assembly hall. But we are not the Council, he continued. The Council ruled through fear and slavery. They destroyed species that disagreed with them. They eliminated their own members when those members became inconvenient. And us? We rule through strength and fairness. Species that cooperate with us prosper. Species that oppose us are defeated. But their survivors are offered the chance to join us. We do not eliminate species for being different. Dr. Soman Park nodded. So we are conquerors, but not tyrants. Exactly. The galaxy needed someone strong, enough to keep the peace. The Council was strong but evil. We are strong but just. As they watched, the assembly session began. Ambassador Hana Lee was explaining humanity's new laws for the galaxy. No species could attack another species. No species could enslave another species. No species could refuse aid to ships in distress. No species could develop weapons of planetary destruction. And all species would contribute to the defense of the galaxy against threats from outside known space. Sir, Engineering Chief Taehyun Lim said, I have a question about the future. What question? What happens when we meet another galactic empire? The Council controlled this part of the galaxy, but there might be other empires beyond our borders. What if they are stronger than the Council was? Admiral Minho Choi smiled. Then they will learn the same lesson the Council learned. Which is, never threaten humanity unless you are prepared to burn. Outside the station, human ships patrolled the space lanes. Human bases watched the borders. Human colonies spread to new worlds every day. The galaxy was at peace, but it was a peace enforced by the most dangerous species ever to leave their home planet. 3 months ago, humanity had been a small, weak species facing an ultimatum from galactic masters. Now humanity were the galactic masters. And somewhere in the ruins of the old Council territories, a monument had been built. It was a simple black stone with words written in every known language. Here fell the Galactic Council. They demanded humanity bow down. Instead, Humanity stood up. Let all who read this remember, freedom is not given, it is taken, and once taken, it is never surrendered. The galaxy had learned what humans do when threatened with slavery. They burn everything down and build something better from the ashes. Admiral Dong-Yuk Park floated in zero gravity inside his command ship, the Steel Thunder. He was hiding behind Neptune, along with 200 other human warships. The Council fleets had been searching human space for 3 days, looking for people to fight. They had found empty worlds and empty stations. Now they were about to find something else. Admiral, Lieutenant Suna Kim reported from her station. Council ships are entering the trap zone. How many? Admiral Dong-Hyuk Park asked. 450 ships, sir. That's about half their total fleet. Admiral Dong-Hyuk Park smiled. The Council had split their forces to search more areas faster. That was their first mistake. The second mistake was coming to the Sol system at all. Captain Jae-won Kim, Admiral Dong-Hyuk Park said into his communicator. Are you ready? Captain Jae-won Kim was on board the assault ship Steel Rain. He was Captain Ji-hoon Kim's younger brother. But where Ji-hoon was a diplomat, Jae-won was a warrior. Ready, sir, Jae-won replied. All ships are in position. The enemy has no idea we are here. The Council ships were moving slowly through space near Earth. Their sensors showed them nothing. No human ships, no human bases, no humans at all. The Council commanders were starting to think that maybe the humans had all run away. They were wrong. Commander Hana Lee, Admiral Dong-Hyuk Park called. Begin the attack. Commander Hana Lee was now on the battleship Earth's Fury. She had been promoted after her good work on the Defiance. Now she was in charge of coordinating the attack on all Council command ships. All ships fire on my mark, she said into her communicator. Target their command vessels first. 3, 2, 1, mark. Space around Neptune suddenly filled with light. 200 human ships appeared from behind the planet and its moons. They had been hiding in the shadows, waiting. The Council ships were caught completely by surprise. Human weapons were different from anything the Council had seen before. Council weapons shot energy beams that moved in straight lines. Human weapons shot energy that curved and twisted through space. Council shields were designed to stop straight beams. They could not stop twisted energy. The first Council ship exploded. In 15 seconds, what is happening? The Council fleet commander screamed over the radio. Where did they come from? But there was no time to answer. Human ships were moving fast, faster than any Council ship could move. They were attacking, from all directions at once. Captain Jae-won Kim led his squadron directly at the largest Council ship. It was 10 times bigger than his ship, but size did not matter in this fight. Fire all weapons, he ordered. The big Council ship's shields glowed as human weapons hit them. But the shields were not working right. The twisted energy was getting through and damaging the ship underneath. Sir, his weapons officer reported, their shields are failing. Our energy patterns are completely unknown to them. Good, Captain Jae-won Kim said. Keep firing. Meanwhile, Specialist Yura Kang was preparing for the most dangerous part of the mission. She was a former Black Ops soldier, trained for fighting in very dangerous places. Her job was to capture Council ships, not destroy them. Boarding pod. Ready? She reported to her team. Remember, we need prisoners and we need their computers. Yes, ma'am, her team replied. Yura Kang's boarding pod shot out from the human ship and flew straight at a Council vessel. The pod was small and fast. Council weapons could not hit it. The pod hit the Council ship's hull and burned through the metal. Yura Kang and her team jumped through the hole into the enemy ship. The inside of the Council ship was chaos. Alien crew members were running around, screaming in languages humans had never heard before. They had never been boarded by enemy soldiers. They did not know what to do. Secure the bridge, Yura Kang ordered her team. Non-lethal weapons only. We need them alive. Her soldiers moved through the ship like ghosts. They were faster and more aggressive than the alien crew expected. Council species fought in groups with careful plans. Human soldiers fought as individuals who could make their own decisions. In 10 minutes, Yura Kang was standing on the bridge of the Council ship. The alien captain was tied up, and her team was downloading all the ship's data. This is Specialist Yura Kang, she reported. Council ship Brightwing is captured. We have prisoners and computer data. Dr. Soman Park was waiting on the human command ship for the captured data. When it arrived, she immediately started studying it. This is incredible, she told Admiral Donghyuk Park. Their weapons and shields are designed only for fighting other Council species. They have never fought anyone who uses technology like ours. What does that mean? It means their entire military is built wrong for fighting humans. Our weapons work perfectly against them, but their weapons are not very good against us. Dr. Soman Park showed him more information on her screen. Look at this, sir. They have been fighting the same way for thousands of years. Same weapons, same tactics, same strategies. They never change because they never needed to change. But we change all the time, Admiral Donghyuk Park said. Understanding. Exactly. We adapt, we improve, we learn. They just repeat. The battle was going very badly for the Council. In 2 hours, they had lost 60 ships. The humans had lost 3. Council Fleet Commander is trying to contact us, Commander Hanali reported. Put him on screen, Admiral Donghyuk Park ordered. The alien commander appeared on the screen. He was one of the crystal beings like Ambassador Vextar, but this one looked scared. Human Admiral, the alien said. We demand that you stop this attack immediately. You demand? Admiral Donghyuk Park asked. You came to our space, you threatened our people, you wanted to make us slaves. This is not how wars are supposed to work, the alien commander said. You are supposed to defend your worlds. You are supposed to fight us where we can see you. Maybe that is how other species fight, Admiral Donghyuk Park replied. But humans do not fight fair. We fight to win. This is against all the rules of war. Your rules, Commander Hanali said from her station. Not ours. The Council commander looked around his bridge. Half his fleet was gone. The human ships were still attacking. His weapons could barely damage them, but their weapons were destroying his ships easily. All Council ships, he finally said. Retreat to the outer system, we need to regroup. Sir, Captain Jaewon Kim reported. The enemy is running away. Let them go, Admiral Donghyuk Park said, but keep following them. I want to know where they go. As the Council ships fled toward the edge of the solar system, they carried something worse than damage to their hulls. They carried fear. Dr. Soman Park was studying more captured data when she made a disturbing discovery. Admiral, she called, I found something in the Council ship's computers. Historical data about the 67 species that joined the Council. What about them? Only 12 species are still alive and sitting on the Council. The other 55 were all destroyed after they joined. What do you mean? The Council uses species until they are not needed anymore. Then they eliminate them. Every few thousand years, they destroy some of their member species and invite new ones to join. Admiral Donghyuk Park felt cold. So joining the Council does not save you. It just delays your death. Exactly. The Council was going to destroy humanity whether we said yes or no. The only difference was timing. Then we made the right choice, Admiral Donghyuk Park said. If we were going to die anyway, better to die fighting. But humans were not going to die. The first battle had proven that. Council ships were fleeing human space, and more human ships were already moving toward Council territory. The Council had wanted to teach humanity a lesson about power. Instead, they were about to learn what happened when you threatened a species that refused to give up. The war was just beginning, and humanity was winning. The message from Captain Ji-hoon Kim reached Earth in 3 days. Admiral Min-ho Choi was sleeping when his phone rang at 3 a.m. The voice on the other end was from the President's office. Admiral, we need you at the Pentagon right now. What's wrong? Min-ho asked, already getting dressed. Everything. 2 hours later, Admiral Min-ho Choi sat in a room with the most powerful people on Earth. The President was there. So was the Secretary of Defense. Leaders from every major country had joined by video call. The room was full of worried faces. Show them the recording, the President said. They played Captain Ji-hoon Kim's message. Everyone listened to the alien demands. Give up all weapons. Accept population limits. Submit to Council rule. Or die. When the recording ended, the room was quiet for a long time. How long do we have? Asked the President. "27 days, Admiral Minho Choi replied. "The message took 3 days to reach us. Can we fight them?" "I don't know. But I know someone who might have ideas." Admiral Minho Choi called for General Yuna Shin. She was the head of Earth's Special Operations Command. If anyone knew how to fight impossible wars, it was her. General Yuna Shin arrived 1 hour later. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and a reputation for solving problems that everyone said could not be solved. "General," the president said, "we need options. Can we fight the Galactic Council?" "Maybe," General Yuna Shin said, "but not the way they expect us to fight." She walked to the big screen at the front of the room. She put up a map showing all the human colonies in space. "The Council thinks they know how wars work," she said. "They think we will defend our worlds. They think we will fight like every other species they have conquered. Won't we?" asked the Secretary of Defense. "No," General Yuna Shin smiled. It was not a nice smile. "I want to show you something called the Prometheus Protocol." She touched the screen. New images appeared. Spaceships, weapons, battle plans. "For the last 5 years we have been building ships in secret," she explained. "We built them in the asteroid belt where no one could see. We have been preparing for the day when we met aliens who were not friendly." "How many ships?" Admiral Minho Choi asked. 800, General Yuna Shin said. "And they are not like the ships the Council has seen before." Meanwhile, in another part of the Pentagon, Lieutenant Ji-won Han was working with her team of intelligence experts. They had been studying every piece of information about the Galactic Council that Captain Ji-hoon Kim had sent back. "What do we know about their fighting style?" Admiral Minho Choi asked when he came to visit her team. Lieutenant Ji-won Han looked up from her computer. She was young, but she was very smart about military strategy. "Sir, they fight like a committee." She said, "What does that mean?" "They plan everything together. All 12 species have to agree before they do anything. It takes them a long time to make decisions. And once they make a plan, they stick to it even if it stops working." "That's good for us?" "Very good, sir. Humans can change plans in the middle of a battle. We can adapt. They cannot." Lieutenant Ji-won Han showed him more information on her screen. "Look at this, sir. In every war they have fought, they use the same strategy. They show up with a big fleet, they demand surrender. If the enemy says no, they destroy the enemy's home planet. Simple and fast. But they have never fought an enemy that could fight back the way we can. They have never fought an enemy that could disappear and attack from unexpected places." While the Pentagon was making war plans, Engineering Chief Tae-hyun Lim was very busy. He was in charge of building humanity's new warships. The secret shipyards in the asteroid belt were working day and night. "How are the new ships different?" General Yuna Shin asked during a video call. "3 ways, Tae-hyun Lim replied from his shipyard. "First, they are fast. Faster than anything the Council has. Second, they have new weapons that use energy patterns the Council has never seen. Their shields will not work against our guns. And third, each ship has an AI computer that can learn during battle. If the enemy does something new, our ships will figure out how to fight it." "The Council thinks AI computers are impossible," Lieutenant Ji-won Han added from her station. "Their species are too proud to let machines make decisions." "Their mistake," Tae-hyun Lim said with a grin. Captain Minji Song was not on Earth. She was in space with a small team of very brave volunteers. Their job was dangerous but important. They had to get close to Council territory and learn everything. "They could." "Council patrol ship spotted," her pilot whispered. 3 ships moving toward the outer colonies. "Follow them," Minji Song ordered. "But stay hidden. We need to know where they are going." For 2 weeks, Captain Minji Song and her teams watched Council ships. They learned how the aliens moved. They learned how they talked to each other. They found the locations of Council bases and supply stations. Most importantly, they found something the Council did not expect them to find. "Admiral," Minji Song reported in a coded message to Earth, "the Council fleets are slow. It takes them 3 days to move from one star system to another, and they always travel the same paths between stars." "What does that mean?" Admiral Minho Choi asked. "It means we can predict where they will be. and it means we can get there first. As the days passed, more information came in. The Council was preparing for war, but they were preparing the wrong way. They were building more ships like their old ships. They were making plans like their old plans. They thought humans would fight like all the other species they had conquered. They were wrong. On day 25, General Yuna Shin gave her final briefing to the world's leaders. The evacuation is almost complete, she reported. All human colonies are being emptied. The colonists are being moved to hidden bases in deep space. All of them? The president asked. Every single person. When the council arrives, they will find empty worlds and empty space stations. No targets to destroy, no hostages to threaten. What about our ships? Hidden throughout their territory. Our teams have been placing ships near every major council base for the last 3 weeks. They have no idea we are there. Lieutenant Jiwan Han added, Sir, we have also hacked into their communication systems. We can hear everything they say to each other. Everything? Yes, sir. Every order, every plan, every message between their fleets. On day 29, long-range sensors detected the Council fleets approaching human space. Hundreds of alien ships moving in perfect formation. They looked powerful and scary. But Admiral Minho Choi was not scared. He was standing in the command center of a hidden human base, watching the enemy approach. Sir, a technician reported, the Council fleets have arrived at our colonies. What are they finding? Nothing, sir. Empty worlds, no people, no defenses, no ships. Admiral Minho Choi smiled. The first part of the plan was working. Sir, another technician called out. We are getting a message from the Council fleet commander. He is demanding to know where all the humans went. Don't answer, Admiral Minho Choi ordered. Let them wonder. Across the galaxy, Council ships were arriving at human worlds and finding nothing. No people to threaten, no armies to fight, no targets to destroy. It was like the entire human species had just vanished into space. The Council commanders were confused. This had never happened before. Species always stayed to defend their homes. Species always fought where the Council expected them to fight. But humans were not like other species, and tomorrow the Council would learn what that really meant. General Yuna Shin, Admiral Minho Choi said into his communicator. Begin Operation Prometheus. Yes, sir, came the reply. Time to show them what humans do when someone threatens our freedom. The war was about to begin, but it would not be the war the Galactic Council expected. First contact turned last warning captain, Ji-hoon Kim stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, watching the massive space station grow larger on the main screen. Zenith Prime was huge. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built. The station looked like a giant metal flower with 12 arms reaching out into space. Captain, we are getting a signal, said Commander Hana Lee from her station. She was the ship's tactical officer, and her voice was calm but careful. They want to talk. Ji-hoon nodded. Put it on screen. The front screen changed. Now it showed the inside of what looked like a great hall. Strange creatures sat in a circle. Some looked like walking crystals. Others had too many arms or eyes in weird places. At the center stood a tall being made of blue crystal. Its voice came through, the speakers like breaking glass. I am Ambassador Vextar of the Nethrim people, the crystal being said. I speak for the Galactic Council. You are the humans, yes? Yes, Ji-hoon said, stepping forward. I am Captain Ji-hoon Kim of the United Earthship Defiance. We come in peace. The crystal being made a sound that might have been laughing. Peace. How simple. Human Ji-hoon Kim, you will listen now. Your species is new to space. You do not understand how things work here. Dr. Soman Park, who was standing near the science station, was watching everything with wide eyes. She was the ship's expert on alien life. She had studied every piece of information about other species that humans had found. But seeing them in person was different. The Galactic Council has ruled this part of space for 10,000 years, Vextar continued. 12 great species work together. We bring order, we bring peace, we bring control. That sounds good, Ji-hoon said carefully. It is good, Vextar agreed. But it requires rules. All species must follow council law. All species must give up their weapons. All species must accept limits on their numbers. All species must serve the greater good. Commander Hana Lee felt her hands tighten on her control panel. She did not like where this was going. You want us to give up our weapons? Ji-hoon asked. All of them, Vextar said. Your ships carry too many guns. Your people think too much about fighting. This is dangerous. The council will keep peace. You do not need weapons. Dr. Soman Park stepped closer to the captain. She whispered, Sir, I have been watching their body language. The other species in that room. They look afraid. Not of us, of the crystal beings. Ji-hoon kept his face calm, but he heard her words. And the population limits? He asked Vextar. Humans breed too fast, another voice said. This one came from a creature that looked like a giant insect. Your numbers must be controlled. Each world can have only so many people. The council will decide how many. I see, Ji-hoon said slowly. And if we say no? The room on the screen went quiet. All the alien creatures looked at Vextar. The crystal being stepped forward. No species has ever said no to the Galactic Council, Vextar said. His voice was cold now. No species has ever refused our gift of peace and order. But what if we did? Ji-hoon pressed. Vextar's crystal body seemed to glow brighter. Then, that species would learn that the Council brings peace in two ways. The easy way, where you accept our rules, or the hard way, where we remove the problem completely. Commander Hana Lee felt her heart start beating faster. Captain, she said quietly, that sounds like a threat. It is not a threat, Vextar said, somehow hearing her words. It is a promise. The galaxy has peace because the Council makes sure of it. Species that cause trouble do not get to cause trouble for long. Dr. Soman Park was taking notes on her tablet. She was recording everything. Her scientific mind was working fast. These aliens thought they were so powerful. They had ruled space for thousands of years. But they had never met humans before. They did not understand what humans were really like. How long do we have to think about this? Ji-hoon asked. 30 galactic standard days, Vextar replied. That is more than enough time. Use it to prepare your people for their new life under Council rule. And if we need more time? You do not need more time, the insect creature said. This is not a choice. This is how things will be. Captain Ji-hoon Kim looked around his bridge. He saw Commander Hana Lee at her weapons controls. He saw Dr. Soman Park with her scientific equipment. He saw his crew members at their stations. These were good people, smart people, brave people. They had traveled farther from Earth than any humans had ever gone before. They had found alien life, just like everyone had dreamed. But this was not how anyone had imagined first contact would go. Ambassador Vexistar, Ji-hoon said finally. I need to talk to my government. This is a big decision. Of course, Vexistar said. But do not take too long to decide. The Council has many fleets. We have fought many wars. We always win. How many wars? Dr. Soman Park asked suddenly. Vexistar turned his crystal head toward her. 67 species have joined the Council since its creation. All of them chose to join peacefully after we explained the benefits. All of them? She pressed. What about the species that didn't join? The silence on the alien ship was very long. Finally, Vexistar spoke. There are no species that did not join, he said. There are only species that no longer exist, Commander. Hana Lee felt cold. The meaning was clear. Join the Council or die. Submit or be destroyed. I understand, Captain Ji-hoon Kim said. We will give you our answer in 30 days. Good, Vexistar said. Do not disappoint us, human. The Council does not like to be disappointed. The screen went black. The connection was ended. For a moment, nobody on the bridge spoke. Then Dr. Soman Park broke the silence. Captain, did you notice something interesting? What? They keep talking about 67 species that joined them, but the Council only has 12 species sitting in that room. Commander Hana Lee understood immediately. What happened to the other 55? Species? Dr. Soman Park looked at her tablet where she had been taking notes. I think we just found out what happens to species that disappoint the Galactic Council. Captain Jihoon Kim walked to the front of the bridge and stared at the space station. On the screen, it still looked like a metal flower, but now it looked like a flower with sharp teeth. Commander Lee, he said quietly, send a message to Earth. Tell them we need to talk to the President immediately. Yes, sir. What should I tell them this is about? Jihoon was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. Tell them it's about whether humanity wants to live free or die free, because I have a feeling those are our only real choices. As the Defiance began to turn away from Zenith Prime, long-range sensors started picking up movement in deep space. Large ships, many large ships, all moving toward the area of space where humans lived. The 30-day countdown had begun.